did. Nigeria has agency. They have decision making. No one forced Nigeria to undertake the pogroms of 1966. That was a decision that was made in Lagos. And what we have seen, the struggle for freedom in Biafra, is a natural response to the repression, which is now more than 60 years old inside Nigeria, especially with regard to Biafra.
It's not going to happen. It's not yesterday, it's not today, it's not going to be all the tomorrows to come. We are Biafrans, madam. No two ways about to take it or drop it. We're going to fight to the last man standing.
I believe you all listened to what Michael Robin said in this video. This reminds me, before this presentation in Washington, D.C., U.S. Congress, some people who say they are fighting for Biafra, they said all manner of ill things when the update came out that Ogenkere will be having a presentation, or Briggy will be having a presentation in U.S. Congress. Listen, there's something you guys fail to understand. And this, when I watch some things people are saying or people's comment when the update came out that there will be a presentation in U.S. Congress, people said all manner of things. And I said, this shows that, or this shows two things. One, that people who are fighting for Biafra don't even know the history of Biafra they are fighting for or fighting to restore. They don't know the history of Biafra. Also, they have not learned anything from MNK. Why do I say so? The reason why we lost Biafra war, or the first Biafra war, is because we had a media blockade during Biafra war, Biafra-Nigeria war. We were blocked on media. Now, Nigeria used British platform, because what happened in US Congress a couple of days ago, you know, most of you don't understand what played out there. For the first time, Biafra was offered a platform that internationally, worldwide, that is recognized for the first time. Most of you, some of you believe that, as Ogenkere said, he will be having a presentation in US Congress, that he will be having it while US Congress is on session. That's what most of you believe. But it's not so. For the first time, US offered Biafra their platform to tell their own story by themselves for the first time. No country have offered Biafra their platform to tell their own story by themselves. It's on record that is America that offered Biafra their platform to tell their own story. This thing Ogenkere did in US Congress, MNK wished for it. MNK paid lobbyists tens of thousands of dollars to have that privilege to tell Biafra's story on the platform of USA. Do you know what it means for Biafra issue to be presented in US Congress building? What you guys fail to understand, most of you people who are criticizing or saying all ill things about that presentation, don't forget, at the initial stage, you people said it's lies. At the end of the day, it happened. You watched it. What you could say is that it's a scam, that no US senator was there. Do you know what it means for US to offer Biafrans their platform, Congress building, for them to tell their own story? During Biafra War, British offered Nigeria a platform. That was why they were propagating false narrative about Biafra and about Ojukwu. And British assisted Nigeria in spreading a falsehood about Biafra and about Ojukwu. That is why some nations colluded with Nigeria to fight Biafra, because a false narrative was propagated by Nigeria on the platform of Britain. It was when a Scottish woman came to Biafra land to see what is going on. When the woman came, he now discovered that a genocide was going on. And don't forget, Biafra had a media blockade. The message, what's his name? Okokondem was decimating. The message he was propagating was limited. It was only circulated within Biafra territory. The world never heard the voice of Okokondem. The world never heard the voice of Biafra. The reason is simple. No nation offered Biafran platform to tell their own story the way British offered Nigeria platform to tell their own side of story. And their own side of story, they propagated a very false narrative about Ojukwu and about Biafra. You know? So it's so sad that in 21st century, somebody who is conscious enough, claiming to be fighting for Biafra, watched where issue of Biafra was presented on the platform of US Congress, and you are criticizing it. It's so sad indeed. In other words, you've not learned anything from the history of Biafra. We were denied a lot of privilege when we are fighting with Nigeria, when we are fighting Biafran war. We were denied a lot of things, especially media. We never had that opportunity to tell our own story on a platform that is being watched globally. Now, what you guys fail to understand is this. 18th, if you browse it, or people who researched what happened in US Congress on 18th of September, they will discover that issue of Biafra was presented on US Congress. Issue of Biafra was presented on US Congress. It has been in their record. Now, what you guys fail to understand, nations that don't know about Biafra, if they browse activities that happened in US Congress on 18th of September, they will see Biafra issue presented on US Congress. And this will now make them to browse more about Biafra. It will now propel them to browse more about Biafra. These are the things you guys don't know. Listen, until we have this mindset that whoever, be it a madman that propagates Biafra, will recognize that madman, we are going nowhere. We are going nowhere. we have to put the issue of Biafra, the interest of Biafra first before our selfish interest. Because people who are fighting Oge, they are doing so based on their own selfish interest. Because if you put the interest of Biafra ahead of your own selfish interest, you will know whatever thing, whatever notion, whatever crime you have against Oge, you would have known that he presented the issue of Biafra. So long as he presented the issue of Biafra in US Congress, you will recognize it. You will recognize it. We have to jettison our selfish interest and put the interest of Biafra first. We have to do so. Hate Oge, but appreciate when he propagates Biafra in a very positive way, in a way that will be, that is of positive vibe to Biafra. For the first time, issue of Biafra was presented on a platform that is well watched all over the world. Appreciate him for that. Put your hate in your pocket for once. Put your hate in your pocket for once. Yes, put your hate in your pocket for once. Have it in mind that as he presented the issue of Biafra on US Congress, have it in mind that there are countries all over the world who are browsing to know what is happening in America, to know what is happening in US Congress. If they browsed what happened in US Congress on 18th of September, they will see that a group of people presented an issue that has to do with Biafra on US Congress. By so doing, they will research more about Biafra. Not that US will give us Biafra, but that platform they offered us will make some nations to research about Biafra, and some nations will pick interest about Biafra. I could remember when Mazen Nandekano's wife came in Radio Biafra and said, Al Jazeera, CNN, BBC, they called him to ask him questions about what happened to Mazen Nandekano, but he turned all of them down. And I could remember that people like us and most of you people who are against Ogenkere, who are fighting Ogenkere, who are of the opinion that what happened in US Congress on 18th of September 2025 is of no use. We attacked Mazen Nandekano's wife, me personally, and I believe that most of you who believe in Simon have this opinion of why would Mazen Nandekano be called by BBC, CNN, and Al Jazeera, and he turned it down. And this is a platform where he will tell the story of Mazen Nandekano, but he turned it down and preferred to go to Radio Biafra. We are limited people. If not limited people, let me use the word limited people, listens to. We use it against her. We said that for her to turn down this opportunity by this global platform being BBC, Al Jazeera, and CNN, to tell the story of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that he hates Mazen Nnamdi Kanu with passion. We use it against her. The reason we use that statement she made against her is because we know that these very stations that called her have a larger audience that a lot of people access to. That if he happens to honor the invitation, if he happens to honor the call, the issue of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, how he was kidnapped from Kenya, rendition to Nigeria, that wider audience, if not the world, because the world access all these media platforms, they will have or they will listen to the issue of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is why we came against her, that she hates Mazen Nnamdi Kanu with passion, because he had opportunity to tell Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's story on a platform that are being accessed globally, but he turned it down and preferred to go and gossip on Radio Biafra. Now we had opportunity that the issue of Biafra was presented on a platform that is being accessed globally, and some people who claim they are fighting for Biafra freedom, we are against it. We are saying all manner of derogatory words against. It's so sad. I urge most of you people who are saying this thing ignorantly to go and research on what happened during Biafra war and why Biafra lost in that war, where we are deprived to tell our own story on media or on a well-established media platform. That is why Ojukwu was referred in the war as a rebel. The world couldn't hear our own side of story, because they said, because if you check, Nigeria had independence in 1960. They got their independence in 1960. In 1967, they fought war with Nigeria. Now, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67 we fought war. Couple of how many years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Couple of 8 years of independence. We fought war. We fought war. A couple of 7 years of independence. We fought war. So Nigeria used British platform to say that we are the aggressor, that a new nation that we ought to build. We ought to build. We are fighting to free ourselves from that new nation. And the British also helped Nigeria in propagating false narrative against us, against Biafra, by saying that Biafra stands, or Biafra want to act the way Japan acted during Second World War. You know, Japan was on the side of Germany during the Second World War. They said this nation that wants to or wanted to emerge, they are like Japan, that we wouldn't want Japan to emerge from Africa. This was the narrative British sold to nations in the world. And some people said, or some people who knew what happened, or some nations who knew what happened during the Second World War said, no, we will not allow another Japan to spring up from Africa. That is why the country like Russia, like USSR, not Russia, like USSR, offered their pilots to Nigeria. The reason why all these things happened is because British offered Nigeria platform for them to propagate falsehood about Biafra. I urge most of you who are fighting for Biafra restoration to go and research and read. Go and research and read. I greet you all. If you come across this video, if you like the way we are propagating this gospel without fear or favor, subscribe, hit the like button, and share the video. Peace and love.